What's going on, YouTube? How is everybody today? It's good to hear. I was just eating tacos and I got tacos lodged in my throat. Today I want to talk about a band called Jaill. This is their 2010 release called That's How We Burn, released on Sub Pop Records. Jaill is an indie rock band of sorts from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They've been around since 2002, but they haven't really released anything until 2009. They released, I think it was a 12-inch called There's No Sky, Oh My My. And that caught the attention of some sub pop guys, so they signed them, and then they put out this album almost a decade into their career. They were a quartet, and I don't know, I just found this album lying around the used CD bin at my record store. It's right by, I don't know, 95% of all my music. It's the huge record bin. So I was on Sub Pop, saw the cover, and I don't know. The cover was kind of, I don't know, like, it's just some girl with a dolphin head standing by one of the Great Lakes, and it looks all kind of dreary and cold. But I don't know, it's kind of unassuming. It was only $8, and I was like, I'll give it a try. I don't know what the hell's going on here. And when I first listened to it, I didn't really like it at all. It seemed very average, very kind of mediocre rock and roll kind of stuff. It's got the whole kind of twangy, jangly guitars. It's very reminiscent of, like, you know, the whole Slacker era from the 90s. I heard a little bit of Pavement in here, a little bit of Superchunks and Mudhoney, all that kind of typical stuff. Felt like they're aping it a bit, but I really wanted to give it a bad review, but the more I kept listening to it throughout the week, I'd play it again and again. The song slowly grew on me. There was hooks in there, it became catchier, it got endearing for some reason. I don't know. It's one of those things that it was really hard to get excited about, but it actually turned out to be pretty decent once you give it a few chances. Like, it's nothing that's gonna amaze you right away or make you want to write home about it, but it's pretty decent upbeat stuff. The songs have some pretty creative songwriting. Like I said, there's twangy guitars, and there's the whole lead singer's nasally voice. A lot of bloggers online are always saying, reiterating that it was like, oh, he has a very distinct voice, and I don't really find it all that distinct. A lot of people have this kind of nasally kind of voice, like the clap your hands, say yeah guy, for example. I don't know. If I actually put some thought into this review, I could probably think of some more, but I don't know, it's just kind of catchy, kind of endearing, actually. There's a lot of songs about, you know, getting high and just being high all day, how it's good, and other songs just kind of lamenting it, songs about girls, and I don't know, it's got some pretty abstract lyrics on here too, so it's kind of food for thought. But my first impression of this album is pretty average. Like, it wasn't bad in any way. It was just kind of generic, very inoffensive, kind of laid back, but then that kind of, I don't know, once it sunk its hooks into me somehow. I don't know what it was. Like, it doesn't really have any balls, nothing really rocks out, there's nothing really, like, you know, shooting for the rafters or anything on here. It's just kind of, I don't know, it straddles a very fine line between being gritty and polished, kind of is somewhere in the gray area in between, but I don't know, it's just kind of interesting stuff. Like I said, the songwriting's kind of creative too. It'll have guitar solos here and there. A lot of people online saying the band likes to describe their sound as like psychedelic pop music. A lot of bloggers are saying that it sounds like surf rock too, like it's a surf rock album, and I don't really hear any surf rock on here. I think they're just getting that impression because there's water on the cover, but this is totally just some weird kind of radio-ready indie rock through some sort of weird twangy guitar kind of vein. It doesn't remind me of, like, when I listen to this, I don't get the mental picture of, like, sunny beaches and, like, you know, surfing and big sunshine and girls in bikinis and bathing suits and all that, like most surf rock will do. I just hear, like, really cold Wisconsin weather, staying inside because it's raining, or it's, like, you know, in the middle of fall and it's getting a little cold outside. That kind of vibe I get off it. It seems like the kind of band that we wouldn't really see playing on a beach venue. They'd be playing in some sort of dingy bar, but really going for it, sounding really good, playing really, really tight. And these guys do sound really tight. The music on here is very cohesive. It's a very consistent album. There's a couple of highlights here and there. Like I said, my first impression of it was just kind of like, okay, it's all kind of samey. But it's just consistent songwriting, and so it makes it a little hard for songs to stick out from each other. But there are some really good songs, like songs I enjoyed on here, like Everyone's Hip and Baby I was pretty good. It actually got it stuck in my head a little bit. But yeah, other than that, it's just, you know, just rock and roll kind of music. Reminded me a little bit of Rolling Stones, reminded me of Eels, reminded me a lot of the indie rock band Harlem that just released an album, I think, last year. So, of course, some Shins, all that kind of shit. Like we already discussed the cover, it's some girl standing by a Great Lake wearing a dolphin hat, and I think she's wearing men's boxer shorts. And it's got the album title etched in the sand, How We Burn. There she is again, smoking a cigarette, of course, with the Wisconsin beer cozy. And then you get the sleeve, and I don't know who this chick is. Like, this band is just 4 guys, and I don't know, this must be someone's sister. I don't know what's going on. And you got lyrics, of course. And then there's a cool picture of the band here, and I love this guy's shirt right in the middle, the teddy bear shirt. It's pretty rad. Like, I would never wear a teddy bear shirt, but if you're hanging out with me and wearing a teddy bear shirt, I will proudly declare you as my friend. And look at that mustache too. That guy gets all the girls, guaranteed. I don't know, is that the drummer? No idea. Cool. Yeah, it's very straightforward, very upbeat, very mid-tempo, very lean, no bells, no whistles, just drums, guitar, bass, vocals, songs, interesting song structure, but very, very, like, no frills, no gimmicks, just some straight-up rock and roll. And it's actually, like I said, once you give it a chance, it will grow on you. It is kind of charming, a little bit endearing. The album's only 11 songs, 32 minutes long, so it doesn't have a chance to overstay its welcome, and it is catchy after all. It's pretty good. Like, it's nothing that'll blow your mind or anything like that. It's nothing you haven't really heard before, but these guys do it pretty well. Decent rock album, decent songwriting. I don't know. It's pretty much all I can say about it. It's called Jaill with 2 L's because when they released their album, I guess this band from Germany from the 1970s called Jaill was probably threatening a lawsuit or something, but they had to add an extra L. So it's not intentional. They used to just be called Jaill like this, and then the 1970s German band said, oh, we're called Jaill, so add an extra L, what can you do? But they sound like a rad bunch of guys. I'd totally check out their show. They sound like they'd be really good live. Jail's 2010 album released on Sub Pop Records called How We Burn. That's How We Burn.